the NASREC EXPO Center in Johannesburg, and that's where the BRICS Business Council is hosting a Future Skills Challenge. Business reporter Ntokozo Khumalo is there for us. Ntokozo, good morning to you once again. Any clues about what the world of work is going to look like going into the future? We know that in South Africa we have a huge challenge of unemployment. Is that topping the agenda there?
Good morning once again, Xoli. Well, indeed, the focus here is around the role that technology will have to play in industries or economic industries and help those industries grow and sustain jobs. And we have some few different working groups, and where I am now is the one that is focusing around renewable energy. So we do have young people that are, zoning in on issues and innovation around renewable energy, but we have stands that are focusing on agriculture, robotics, artificial intelligence. So really the role of technology, and as you said that South Africa's high youth unemployment, is it an unemployment issue or is it a skills issue? That is something that is really being dug into as well today. And I am now here with the DDG for the Department of Higher Education and Training, and it focuses on skills, and that's of course Zukile Mvalo. Thank you for talking to us. You just officially opened this Future Skills Challenge. Talk us through that whole argument of South Africa's problem not being unemployment but skills. A lot would argue how accurate that is. Talk us through why some industry experts are saying that.
Well, thanks very much once again. I must make an indication that the work that we are currently doing as the Department of Higher Education and Training, we are focusing on those skills which are required by our economy. We normally refer to demand-led skills interventions. We publish a national list of occupations that we require as the country. The one we did in 2020 in November, where we published a list of occupations that we need as the country. We also, in 2022 in August, we also published another list. It's a list we call it a critical skills list. In those lists, we're identifying skills that are required by our economy, whereby we're encouraging especially young people to venture into those qualifications that are being needed by our economy. And I can tell you already, especially with regard to artisan development, we've done our own tracer studies. In our own tracer studies, they are telling us that about 80% of those who are now artisans in our country participated in our programs, they are employed. 3% of them is self-employment, and the other is they are employed by especially private sector and the public sector. So I must say, well, youth unemployment, is quite very high in South Africa, currently standing at about 60%, which in any way is a drop from 62% if you look into the first quarter of 2023, comparing with the second quarter, as now it's 60.7%. Also, interestingly, if you look into those who are not in employment, education and or training, the number was quite very high at 3.7 million in the first quarter of 2023. That number has dropped now into 3.5 million. So it tells you then, therefore, that programs that young people are engaged in South Africa are really those ones which are required for our socio-economic development. So those are the good news for us, especially as the Department of Higher Education and Training, to see that now the absorption rate is getting higher and higher, especially for young people who are unemployed.
So are we putting more emphasis, especially for those graduates that are struggling to find employment? We are then saying that the department's investing in ensuring that they do upskill themselves?
Yes, indeed, we're doing a lot of upskilling, especially using our TVET colleges as well as our sector education and training authorities. You'll see we're running programs such as in learnerships, internships, work integrated learning, so that we can get them, skilled in those areas, that are quite very critical for our economy.
DDG, thank you so much for talking to us. We hear that some of the sessions are kicking off. Of course, that's the DDG in the Department of Higher Education and Training, focusing on skills, talking us through the role of TVET colleges to really upskill young people in the country to be able to compete in those industries, the future skills. And as I said earlier, we are seeing, working groups in agriculture, focusing on agriculture. We have other working groups on cybersecurity, on data science. So really, it's very clear where that future skills lie. And we're seeing, quite a bit of the Chinese young representatives here that are already competing with some of the South African delegates. But it's not just the BRICS nations, Goli, that are here. We do have participants from other parts of the continent as well, Goli, and we will be updating a little bit later on this afternoon on just how some of these challenges are panning out and where South Africa lies in really the spectrum of the skills of the future. It's back to you in studio, Goli.
Ntokozo Khumalo live for us there at the NASREC EXPO Center.